Hi, my name is Catherine, and welcome to Sparrow Podcast. We have another amazing episode today, and my guest joining me today is Lana Estella. She's an NLP coach, a feminine mindset mentor, and a hypnotherapist. So I'm sure we will have so much to explore together today. Hi, Lana. Thank you very much for being with me here today. I am so excited about filming with you today.
Oh, thank you so much for choosing me and for inviting me to your amazing podcast.
Of course. So I think neuro-linguistic programming is fascinating because it shows how language and behavior are intersecting. So maybe you can tell us a bit more about NLP and what does an NLP coach actually do?
So let me just explain to you first about neuro-linguistic programming.
Sure.
And so neuro-linguistic programming, by the way, in short, is how you want to become successful quickly.
Okay. We all want that,
And
for sure.
And success can look anything for any person. It could look differently for you. Some people would want money. Some people would want family. You know, like we have each area of our life. We have family, relationship, personal development, career, financial, health, spirituality,
Yes.
emotional. So these are areas of life. So what I mean by success, it could look anything within that area. Okay?
Okay.
So in long form, what NLP is, neuro is how your mind works, which means your thoughts. What are you thinking about? We all have thoughts every single day. 70% of our thoughts are the same as yesterday, last week, last month,
Really?
last year. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yes. So that's what neuro is, your thoughts, your mind. And linguistic is your language, how you communicate using your own words to communicate the thoughts that you have in your mind. And programming, how we combine these two together to create the result in your life.
Okay, amazing.
So back to your question, what NLP coach does actually. So for example, a good NLP coach will help you to identify and change limiting beliefs, patterns, behaviors that have been ingrained in you for the longest of time, since you were born, for example. So that way we work directly with your unconscious mind so that we reprogram, we rewire your subconscious mind in that sense, because we have two parts of minds.
Okay.
We have conscious mind and we have unconscious mind.
Yes.
Okay, imagine it like a circle and then we divide it to two.
Okay.
So we have conscious mind and we have unconscious mind. The conscious mind is 2 to 4% of your potential. It's the logical mind. This is what we say. It's a logical mind. And the unconscious mind is 98%, 96 to 98% of your result in life. So whatever happens in your life is actually coming from your unconscious mind. This is what we call emotional mind. So you can only imagine why we work directly with your unconscious mind, because that's where all of the information stores.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Of course. Very interesting. And you mentioned that you are basically rewiring some connections in the brain. So usually how long it takes to have a successful rewiring?
A very, very good question. So, for example, like I mentioned, NLP is how you want to become successful quickly, right? With that being said, we don't need 12 years of session.
Okay, that's a good that's a good sign,
Exactly. And for driven individual, high ambitious individual, they don't really want to, sit in a therapy room and talk and keep on going back and forth about what happened before and not really breaking through that point, right? So with NLP, honestly, for me, I work with my client 10 to 12 weeks only.
Okay.
And after that, I equip them with all of information that they need, that they can be independent for the future, because now they understand who they are, because we did self-discovery from their childhood until to where they are now. Who they are as a person, who they are as a mom, who they are as a father, who they are as a husband, whatever they are in, So they know exactly who they are, their values, their beliefs. So we rewire all of this within 10 to 12 weeks.
Okay, so you basically give them the tools, and then it's their responsibility to work with these tools.
Yeah, but then also because we work directly with the unconscious mind, so we know the thought patterns that you have. You know, sometimes one of the things that most people do is we self-sabotage our own success.
Okay. Yes, sounds familiar.
It rings the bell, right? And when we self-sabotage our success, how does it look like? It looks like this. Every time something good happens in your life, you just manage to
ruin it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
so why do we do that?
Because it comes back to our belief system, our thoughts that we have. Because our thoughts create our emotions, our feelings about something. So let's say we believe the common things that I have worked with people is that they believe that they are not worthy, or they're not good enough, or they're not loved, right? And actually, these are the main fears that we have as a human being. Doesn't matter who you are on this earth.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how successful you are or how not successful you are. We all have this, right? And when we were talking about like what they believe, for example, the thoughts that they have, this is deep subconscious level. Sometimes you don't even know that it was there until we actually really work on it. Because like I mentioned, we self-sabotage our own success, right?
Yes.
So we know the result that we do. You know, that we procrastinate, or every time something good happens, we try to ruin it, right?
Yeah,
to push away, or we try to run away.
Or we try already to think, oh, there should be something bad happening.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. So because of that, we come back to our thoughts. You know, we have that thought at deep subconscious level where we go to the root cause. Most of the time, this is in general. I'm speaking in general.
Yes, of course.
The three things that I mentioned: I'm not loved, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, right? So these thoughts will create that emotions, the feelings that you have, which is fear or sadness or guilt, for example, right? Or shame, because if you're not feeling like you're worthy enough, you feel the shame of everything, right? You feel like people are judging you or something, for sure. So your feelings will create the action that you will take, which means the self-sabotage.
Okay.
Procrastination.
And what are some measures which we could take against self-sabotage?
Definitely. First of all, being aware of what were you doing at that moment. And then if this has becoming a pattern, you know, like you notice it, it's not going to happen the same way as how it was before, but you can notice the pattern. You just need to be aware of it.
Okay.
You know, when you are aware of it, like, hey, I've done this before. I actually really want this. Why am I doing this?
Okay, so first step is to identify.
Exactly.
Okay.
Being aware.
And then trying to bring a change.
Yes. When you are aware of certain situation, it's easy for you to tackle it. You know, if you're not aware of the situation, why am I doing this? Because XYZ. But if you don't know what that is, how are you going to tackle it?
Yeah.
And that
point.
Yeah, one of the things that I feel like if you're doing this yourself, I feel like first becoming aware of the patterns that you're doing, whether it's in relationship, whether it's a business or work. For example, in a relationship, right? Let's say you want to have a happy, healthy relationship.
Yes.
Whether you are in a relationship or you're single.
Yes.
And then you started meeting new people. Let's say talk about single.
Yes.
And let's say you're single and then you want to have a happy, healthy relationship. You desire this. And then you meet a person. But then for some reason, when this person gets close to you, you started pulling away. Or when this person started pulling away, you started getting close to them. So this is kind of like an attachment style.
Okay.
That we have sometimes.
Yes.
Based on our belief system. Okay. And then we notice this pattern. I'm doing this again. So that awareness is there.
Okay.
So it's easy for you to start noticing like what went wrong. Why am I doing this? Does that make sense?
Yes, for sure. So I think it's important then, if you notice a pattern, to take a step back and to analyze.
Yeah.
And not only blame it on the partner that the relationship went wrong, but also analyze yourself inside and see what kind of attachment style you have, and identifying all these self-sabotaging patterns, and that might help you grow a healthy relationship in the future.
100%. And like you said, we're not relying on the other person. What we want to always look into is ourselves. Everything starts and ends with you. You create your destiny. You create your life. You create what you want in life, not what based on someone else. Not based on what your parents want, not based on what your partners want. So I think this is very important to look into. Like, everything starts and ends with you.
Okay. And I'm sure that as per your experience as an NLP coach, you developed also a very good eye for behavior and body language. So I'd like to know, how much does body language play a role in the way we communicate with others?
Very good question. 55%.
Wow.
So it's 55% body language, 38% tonality, your tone of voice,
okay,
how you speak, and 7% is words.
Okay, so
that's crazy, isn't it?
Yes, that's so crazy.
So everything that you do, most of the time you communicate with your body language, and that's why you can travel to China or India, for example, where people don't speak English, right? Let's say you go traveling,
yes,
and they don't speak English.
Yes.
How do you communicate? But somehow they manage to understand each other.
Yes,
because of the body language, right?
Okay.
Let's say you want to buy a bottle of water.
Yes.
And then you ask them how much. And then you just show them how much. And then they will tell you, or they will write it down.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Okay, interesting. And your experience in this area, does this help you to identify much quicker someone with bad intentions or someone who is a liar? Yeah.
In a quick answer, yes.
Okay.
Because in NLP, we have rapport, eye movement. Yes, eye movement.
Okay.
Sensory equity. So, for example, we get to know when someone is congruent, in alignment with what they say and how they actually feel.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can tell. I mean, in general, also, even if you don't have this knowledge, sometimes you have that thing tells you that.
Yes, the gut feeling
That tells you that I don't feel like he's telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, without making any assumption on things, because there's a lot of things that comes in between if you want to detect a liar. What's the other one that you mentioned just now? A liar or someone is...
Or someone with a bad intention.
A bad intention.
Yeah.
Yes. So one of the things that I like to do, or how we detect this in a client when we work one-on-one with them, is that we want to know whether they're actually saying what is the truth inside of them, because we want to help them, right? We want to unlock your full potential.
Yes.
With that being said, we want to know, we get to know, like, are they comfortable with the questions that we asked?
Okay.
And their answers, is it congruent with how they actually feel? So we notice that sensory acuity is from the facial expression that you have.
Okay.
So we can sense the change of skin tone, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, your lower lips actually getting smaller when you don't tell the truth.
Oh, really?
Yes. And this is just in general. But if you ask someone, and if you want to know whether they are telling the truth or not, of course, this is not use it.
Yes, I mean, there are different people, different situations.
Yeah.
But just in general.
Yeah. So as I'm looking at you right now,
Okay.
right? If I were to ask you something, what did you eat last night?
Oh, let me remember. I had a soup, and then I had spaghetti bolognese.
Okay. And what about last week?
Oh, no. Probably chicken with something.
Okay. And let's say
Last year.
can you remember your room when you were 5 years old? What color is your room?
It should be white.
Should be white.
Yes.
Do you remember what is your favorite toy?
Oh, I had several, but I had one that came quickly to my mind. Yes. Yes. It was like a small cat, like plush.
Do you love that cat?
Yes, I
You love
liked
it so much.
Yes.
Okay. So a few things that we get to know also through eye movement is that whether that person is more visual, auditory, kinesthetic.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And if you want them to remember something, there are some certain questions that we ask to bring that visual memory to them. So when they look up, for example, when they look up on their left, that means they're remembering something.
Okay.
But if they look up and they look on the right, it means they're reconstructing something, which means they don't have that picture yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because we all work with pictures.
Okay.
Yeah. But when I ask you about your toy, you immediately go to your kinesthetic, which is your down on your right.
Yes. So what does that mean?
It means that you associate with that toy very much, that you just feel love towards that toy straight away. And that's why I asked you straight away, do you love it very much? Because your immediate response was to look down and you recall that.
Interesting. Yes.
So in this sense, does that make sense?
Yes. I really like this part. So much interesting information.
Yeah. It's a lot to uncover. And definitely, if a person is more of a kinesthetic, and I think you are.
Okay.
You are more on the feeling part, yeah?
Yeah, probably. It depends. It depends, of course.
Yeah.
But yes, I have a strong sense of feeling and intuition, yes.
Yes, exactly. So with that being said, most of the things that, for example, if I work with you, then I would mention more of even the words that I mentioned to you would be more of a feeling words, for example. Does this resonate with you?
Okay, so you would then adapt according to the person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, for example, if a person is visual, right, then I would probably talk to them more of a visual words. For example, okay, look. What do you think of this? For example, okay, the words look is visual, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If I say resonate, you started to feel. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like this part. And I can say you have this calm aura, like warm, calm, soft. I like that. And also your tonality of the voice, I can sense it's very calming, very soothing, you know.
I'm glad you feel that way.
And you are also a hypnotherapist. So I can already feel like I'm hypnotized a bit. So if we talk about hypnotherapy, when we hear these words, we usually think about what we've seen in the movies. We imagine different kind of scenarios. Yes. And usually what we imagine, it's not conforming with the reality. So maybe you can bring some light into this area.
Hypnotherapy?
Yes. And tell us, what is hypnotherapy actually?
Hypnotherapy is so amazing. Hypnotherapy is a natural state. Hypnotherapy is fun.
Okay.
And do you know that daydreaming is actually a hypnosis state?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And how many times have you daydreamed every single day?
Many times.
Right?
Yes.
So how many times in a day that you actually hypnotize by yourself?
Okay.
You know? Mm-hmm. So, and also, when we watch a movie, and when we are invested in the movie, and sometimes we cried.
Yes.
Right? And the movie did not end the way we hoped it would be. we got pissed off,
Of course.
right?
We took it personally.
Exactly. So that is hypnosis state.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah, you were in trance because you were drawn into that movie. And have you ever noticed that sometimes you were looking for your keys, but then you have your keys on your hand all the time, right?
Yes.
So that is basically how I can explain hypnosis.
Okay.
You were hypnotized by yourself all the time.
Okay.
But in general, hypnosis is a state of relaxation.
Okay.
It's a state of relaxation, and the process of hypnotherapy is that for you to absorb all of the information that we are going through.
Okay.
So we also work directly with your unconscious mind because right now you're completely relaxed. And when you're relaxed, because like I mentioned earlier, we have conscious mind and we have unconscious mind, right? And in the middle, we have the thing called critical faculty.
Okay.
Yeah, critical faculty is like a firewall between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind.
Okay.
So when we do hypnotherapy, we work directly. We go by critical faculty. We go bypass critical faculty. So we work directly with the unconscious mind. In this sense, of course, before we do hypnotherapy session, you need to surrender to the process, but also you need to build that connection between you and the hypnotherapist.
Okay.
So that you are receptive over what he or she would be guiding you or suggestible to whatever he or she guiding you through your own personalized things that you need and want to work on.
Okay. Did it ever happen to you that you work with a person who couldn't be hypnotized?
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't work with someone like that. That's why before I started working with someone, we have a suggestibility test.
Okay.
To see how much they are responsive to what I'm saying. Because at the same time, hypnotherapy is also an imagination state. And our mind, our unconscious mind, can't detect whether it's happening right now, or it's happening in the future, or it's happening in the past. So imagination is something that we all can have. We all can do. We all can feel.
Okay.
So, for example, if I were to tell you to eat this lemon,
yes,
right, close your eyes and eat the lemon and taste the lemon, you would start to be like, oh, this is sour.
Yeah.
Right? Can you feel the lemon in your mouth right now? Imagine it.
Yeah.
Right? It's bitter.
Yes.
Sour.
Yes.
So that is the imagination state.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the stages of a session of hypnotherapy?
A very good question. So, like I mentioned, first is the hypnotherapy session, which means we have question and answer. I would ask you, what do you want? What do you want to change? What do you want to achieve? So we have this question and answer, and also to see like how much you are suggestible towards me, how much you trust me, because I think that's the key to work with someone. You need to trust that person. You need to feel calm with that person. You need to feel like this person is the one that I want to work with.
Yes.
And then you will surrender everything else, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we have the induction.
Okay.
Induction is something that we take you to the state of relaxation, basically. Yeah, we release all the tense on your eyelids, from the top of your head to the tip of your toe, all the way down.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have deepening. So deepening, after we did the induction, there are 5 steps to induction. And after that, I test to see how much you were relaxed.
Okay.
And after that, we do deepening. Deepening is one of the things that we do in hypnotherapy to get you into more deeper state of relaxation. So practically, you are relaxation at that moment. You are so relaxed, like you have never felt before.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's a beautiful feeling. And then after that, it's exploration. So here we explore on the things that coming back to the problems that you have, basically. Let's say you want to work on smoking. Smoking can be one of the things that we work with.
Yeah.
Or money blocks.
Okay.
We work with money blocks.
Okay.
Or one of the things that we have is also regression. So
Mm-hmm.
we regress your childhood experience that relates to the problem that you currently have.
Okay.
On a common basis, I worked with people who have this, let's say, money blocks or relationship problem or whatever that is, and we tap into that part where we do the regression and they go back to their childhood.
Okay.
Directly, and then we explore what happened when you were at the age of this, XYZ, from the age of 0 to, I don't know, 12,
Okay.
or even like until today.
I guess that can be a very intense emotional experience.
Yes, actually, that's true. It could be very intense, and that's why before we do that, we have deepening.
Okay.
Deepening, and then before we do to regression, there are a few stages that we take them to, so that they feel safe, they feel secure, they feel protected. So that way they feel confident to go through the next stage.
Okay.
And when we talk about going back to your childhood or going back to, like the traumatic event in the past, it's not always beautiful. I mean, obviously.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah. But then that's why we do the induction, the state of relaxation, the deepening, and then we take them to a safe place.
Okay.
In their mind, what is the safe place for them? And how do we want to know? Actually, even for you, you can try this. How do you know that you have a safe place? It's like this. Can you remember a time when you will feel totally safe? Totally safe. I mean, you can try it if you want.
So a time or like a place or a memory when you felt like safe?
A very good question. So how we do that? You can close your eyes if you want.
Okay, so let's do this.
Okay. Take a deep breath in. That's right. Release it with your mouth. Beautiful. And can you remember a time when you feel safe? Completely safe. You feel safe, you feel secure, you feel protected. It could be a place, it could be a person.
Okay.
It could be an imagination, a fantasy place that you would like.
I have it.
Beautiful.
Should I say it or?
No, you can just, as you know that it is a place or a time or a person.
So for me, I can say I feel safe when I have a walk on the beach.
Beautiful.
And especially at sunset.
Beautiful. And where do you feel it in your body?
I would say around my heart.
Beautiful. And I want you to notice around your heart, there's a color. When you are feeling safe. What color is it? Or a series of colors?
I associate it with purple. I think that's my color anyway.
You feel safe with purple?
Yes.
Beautiful. I want you to breathe in this purple color. That's right. And release it. Beautiful. And breathe in as much as you want, so that you're safe, you're secure, and you're protected. From the top of your head to the tip of your toe, all the way down. Just like a water filling up the water bottle. Just like that, fill yourself up with this purple energy. It's your safe energy. Yeah. You can come back to this room when you're ready. Do you feel better?
Yes.
You feel safe?
Yes. I feel safe. I feel calm. Very, very peaceful. Yeah.
It changed. It shows on your face.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You see? So this is one of the things that we do, but this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's more complex.
Yeah, it's more deeper and it's more secure. Like you feel like nothing can take you away from this feeling.
Yes.
When you are like this, and then there are a few steps before we do the regression.
Okay.
Yeah. So the back to your question, the stages, the exploration. So this is what we do. So we explore the situation, and then at the same time giving the suggestion that would help your clients, that would help my clients in terms of what they want, to see the possibilities, to change the narrative, shift whatever that needs to be shifted, and then bringing them back into the room.
The real life.
The real life, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I mentioned room.
I think there are a lot of myths around this concept of hypnotherapy. So maybe you help us debunk some of them. And I will give you a few examples. And please let us know if this is a myth or is this a fact? Is it real?
Let's go.
So let's go. Number one is only weak-minded people can be hypnotized. Is that true?
No, completely myth.
Okay. Stamp.
Exactly. It's a myth.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. There is no such thing as weak-minded, strong-minded in this way.
Okay.
Yeah. That is actually what people say to avoid getting hypnotized, basically. Right? You have a strong mind.
Okay.
Your mind is limitless. And that's why we do the things that we do now is to unlock your full potential. You know, hypnosis is a natural state. Excuse me. When we say hypnosis, it's also kind of like a meditation.
Yes.
You know, so people always say, because of the movies that we watch, right?
Yes, of course.
The first time I watched a movie about hypnotherapy, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I have these skeptical thoughts about it.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
And then I went to learn after NLP. So I study NLP. And then hypnotherapy just kind of like goes hand in hand with NLP.
Definitely. Yes.
And the first time I studied hypnotherapy, I was having all of these skeptical thoughts about it as well. But I keep an open mind because I want to know, like, what can it help me with, right? So yes, I had the same thought, like, no, I don't think I can be hypnotized.
Okay. Then another myth is you are unconscious or you will enter a stage of amnesia when you're hypnotized. Is that true?
No, you're fully in control.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fully in control because you would, yes, we work directly with your unconscious mind. But at the same time, you are still in control of the information that you give out. And if you want to work on the issues that you have, you won't hold back.
Okay.
You know, you will actually open up to the situation.
Okay, so no amnesia.
No, 100%. Actually, it will bring back all of the memories.
Okay.
Because we want to release it.
Yes, interesting. Then another myth is that when you're hypnotized, you are under the full control of your therapist, meaning that the therapist can make you do things which are not under your will.
Wow.
Like we see in the movies, like someone starts barking like a dog or something.
Well, the hypnotherapy that I do, definitely I won't do it like that. And no, in that case, no.
Okay.
You are still in control of whatever you're doing.
Okay.
Just like my previous answer. I remember I watched this one movie. It was about the hypnotherapist. He made her lie down on the bed.
Okay.
And he hypnotized her. And she was in complete trance, or I'm not too sure. It was a movie, right? I only know a bit part of it.
Yes.
And then he just called her. And then he started whispering some stuff. And she started doing the things that he asked her to do. Which is completely absurd.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
And another one is that there is a risk that you do not come back to the real life, like that you get stuck in the trance. Can that happen?
No, it can't happen. No, you will come back. Although I would definitely say that sometimes when you are in trance, in a good way, in a positive way, that you are so much so in that state that we call it blissful moment. It's a blissful moment. And it's a moment where people who actually went to, I don't know, like to become a monk or something, meditate in the top of the mountain for years and years, could also not getting that moment. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So imagine people are searching for this moment to be in. But one of my clients, actually, she was in this state of completely relaxed for the whole day. And she could not think of anything. She could not feel anything. She just feel peaceful. She felt
Amazing.
peaceful as ever. There's noise here and there, but it doesn't bother her. She was just in a completely peaceful state of mind. That is the most beautiful state that you could ever experience as a human being.
For sure.
Yeah. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, sure. So I'm glad we debunked some of the myths. Thank you for this. And I would like to know, are there any risks associated to hypnotherapy? Something which we should be aware of before we go towards this?
Okay. Well, one of the things I would say, probably people who are with a strong emotional condition might not. We have to talk to the right people for that, doctor or anything like this.
Yes.
So, for example, people with
schizophrenia or something, or some sort of mental disorder. Okay, understand.
So it would be best to consult with the doctor first.
Yes, for sure.
Before that, and also remember that when you are doing all of this thing, you are open to vulnerability, right? But then again, if you are open to release, to let go of all of the past, the things that are not serving you anymore, you would be open to this. You would be open to be vulnerable, because these are things that can help you to live the life that you desire. Yeah,
nice.
It's not going to be beautiful, honestly. When we talk about working for yourself, working with inner work on yourself.
Yes, because you need to be confronted with things that you probably over the last several years, you push them back and you try to avoid them. And then you will need a direct confrontation with them in order to be able to access growth and improvement.
Exactly. 100%. You're spot on. You're completely right. And this is the reason why sometimes we try not to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not beautiful.
Yes.
It's not butterflies and rainbows and sunshine.
Yes, but growth is not about sunshine and butterflies. Growth, it's about work, about confrontation, and being able to step out of your comfort zone.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, much.
Okay. So now I would like to shift a bit our discussion, and I would like to approach another subject, which is a very trendy subject everywhere on social media. We see several posts about feminine energy versus masculine energy, and there is so much information out there, and mostly these posts are putting these two energies at war. It's always feminine versus masculine, and who is better, and so on. So yeah, I think it's a lot of information about this. So I would like to ask you, what is your opinion on this? And do you think that instead of putting these energies at war, we should maybe focus on harmonizing these two energies and finding a good balance between feminine and masculine energy?
Yes, definitely. The last part that you mentioned was completely true. So yes, of course, we all, despite on our genders, we all have feminine and masculine energy, right? And definitely we should strive on balancing them, harmonizing them, because we all have this two energy, and we call it yin and yang. Yin and yang energy. And when we work with these two energies, one of the energies might be our core energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there are a few assessments to know like
Mm-hmm.
what energy that
Mm-hmm.
you carry at the core level.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, for me, my core energy is feminine,
Mm-hmm.
but some women, they could look beautiful. They could look like me, wearing dresses, jewelries, makeup, lipstick, hair done,
Mm-hmm.
but their core energy is masculine,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then at the end of the day, we have these two energy,
Okay.
and we can balance them together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some characteristics of feminine energy?
Definitely very nurturing,
Okay.
compassionate, lively, and empathy. All of this intuition,
Mm-hmm.
for example. Yeah.
Okay.
Collaboration instead of competing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know there is dark feminine energy and light feminine energy.
Yeah.
So can we explore a bit the nuances between these two?
Yeah. Okay. So light feminine energy is almost like an angel.
Okay.
Feel like, if I could describe it in color, it would be white.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pure,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind,
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't mean that dark feminine energy is bad.
Okay.
Okay. So light feminine energy is very much nurturing, compassionate,
Mm-hmm.
very intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite like motherlyhood
Okay.
energy. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's like an angel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very kind, but at the same time, if we are too much into light feminine energy,
Mm-hmm.
that could also become unhealthy feminine energy
Okay.
because it's too much in that
Okay.
particular part.
Okay.
But then we all have this as well. So as a woman, right? And if you're embracing your feminine energy,
Mm-hmm.
you could also be on more of a darker feminine energy or more on a lighter feminine energy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. And dark feminine energy.
Yes.
To answer your question.
Yes.
Dark feminine energy is more like fierce energy. It's like fire.
Okay.
Light feminine energy is like water, flow.
Mm-hmm.
Dark feminine energy is more like fire. It's
Okay.
more compassionate, like it's more driven. It's more
Passionate.
passion, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Passionate, yes.
Okay.
And more driven, confident, assertive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
And if I could describe dark feminine energy, like I said, fire.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could describe, have you watched Gossip Girl?
No.
Oh, okay. So because in Gossip Girl, I could actually portray the character.
Okay. Which one?
I would say, so in Gossip Girl, for example, if I could put dark feminine energy, I would say Blair
Okay.
and also Georgina. But Georgina is more on a unhealthy dark feminine energy.
Okay. Understood.
Because you're driven, if you can put together these two person, one would be like stay-at-home mom, like feminine energy. But this is just a general.
Yes, of course.
General example.
Of course.
With the time that we have. Stay-at-home mom, nurturing, loves to cook, want to get the kids to homeschool,
Yes.
like nurturing the family, happy, light,
yes,
bringing the happiness to the family.
But sometimes maybe there are women that have naturally this light energy, but life took them on another path. So when you're in your survival mode, you cannot be fully in your light feminine energy. And it's not because you are not like that as a person at your core, but because you need to adapt to certain situations.
True.
And when you need to fight, provide for yourself, it might be that you develop some masculine characteristics. Yes. Even if at your core, you are not like that.
True. And yes, that's totally true. We cannot survive within our feminine energy if we are on survival mode, right? Because we constantly have to think about, how am I going to provide for the family? How am I going to pay the bills? And all of this thing. And that's what happened with my client. She's divorced, and she's 50 years old.
Okay.
25 years in a marriage.
Wow.
Yeah, and she had to provide, right? And in this case, like she's fighting to survive, right? Fight or flight mode at that moment.
Yes.
So she had to wear her masculine shield at that moment. But again, do you have a question on this or?
I was thinking about something now. Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking, when you have to be in your like masculine energy, how can you attract a man that has also high masculine energy? Like, how can you lower your masculine energy? Yes.
Okay. First of all, masculine energy and masculine energy does not attract each other.
Okay.
Like magnet.
Yes.
So when there's masculine energy and masculine energy,
yes,
it's not possible to attract each other, right? But then when there's masculine energy and there's feminine energy, it attracts each other.
Okay.
Coming back to your question, how are you going to attract someone if you are on survival mode?
Yes.
And if you are having a lot of masculine energy? With that being said, this is when we take a step back. And yes, we do have to provide. We do have to do X, Y, Z that we needed to do, right? But because we are on survival mode, this is why we come back to, it's not this is why. The reason why it is like that is because you are coming to your fear, your emotion, like to provide the fight or flight mode. And that's why you have this masculine shield.
Yes.
And with that being said, we have to step back and we have to remind ourselves about our thoughts, being aware, identify, and there's a lot of things that you can do in between of this. How you come back to your own feminine energy, as in like, not even like to just release everything, but to understand like, why am I having this issue right now? Yes, I have to provide. Yes, I have to pay the bills. I have to take care of things. Now I understand where is it coming from.
Okay.
Right? So you identify and then you take a step back.
Okay.
And you analyze things. And then you do things that could cultivate feminine energy around it.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, for sure.
And if we talk about how to attract masculine men, and that's why so many women who are more masculine, they attract feminine men, right? But most of the time, the women that I have worked with, they don't really want feminine men.
Yes.
They want to be led.
Yes.
They want to be supported.
Yes.
Right? Is this?
Yes. I can understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. And coming back to your question just now about the dark feminine energy, and dark feminine energy is like a boss babe, right? But we're talking about like healthy boss babe. Like they are very assertive about their decision. They set boundaries.
Okay.
They know what they want and they go after it.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean that they are masculine. It just means that they have this healthy feminine trait, because one of the healthy feminine traits is also setting boundaries.
Okay.
Knowing what you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very important, yes.
Yes, exactly. A lot of the times when we are in survival mode, like I mentioned, right, we started putting on our masculine shield, but that is a wounded masculine shield.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just because we have to provide.
Yes.
We have to protect.
Yes.
Right? But then with that feminine energy, for example, or healthy feminine energy, you are assertive, you are decisive, you know what you want, you set boundaries, you communicate all of this with grace.
Okay.
And kindness.
Okay.
Yeah. Because feminine energy is so powerful. You can be running 7-figure business, 8-figure business, and still be in your feminine energy.
Okay.
Cultivating these two things together.
Okay.
Because like I mentioned earlier, when we combine these two energies together, we harmonize them. When we know how to harmonize them, we know when to switch on feminine energy, when to switch on masculine energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. I would like to ask, do you have any advice that would help us to unlock our feminine potential?
Yes, that's a very, very good question. Definitely, first of all, to embrace your intuition.
Okay.
As a woman, we all have intuition. You know, some people call it gut feeling.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the gut.
Yes.
And some people, these are the little voices that you hear in the back of your mind. And most of the time, we are all gifted with this intuition, right? We know if something is right or something is not right for us, but we are just shy away or scared to actually believe in ourselves. And this is so important. As a woman, to unlock your feminine energy, first of all,
Okay.
it's not just about putting beautiful dress, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, wearing jewelry, wearing makeup on, but also trusting your intuition. Your intuition is something that you can't buy, right?
Yes.
And
Sure.
even like the little voices telling you like, I think this is not right, or I think this is the right way to do. You know, most of the time we know where to go, right? You go straight and then you either turn left or turn right.
Yes.
But then most of the time we know that we should turn right, but we always
turn left. Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, start to embrace this intuition.
Okay.
Start to embrace these little voices in our head that telling us answers that we ask for.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be one. And then the next thing would be surrounding yourself with other human beings, other people who are on a self-growth journey, on a personal development journey.
Okay. Very important.
Very important. Yes. The conversation would be different.
Yeah.
And you see, environment is very important, you know? Not to say that we don't hang out with people who are negative all the time. Let's say if it's your family, what can you do about it, right?
Yes.
It's your family.
Good, you can still set some boundaries.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you set your boundaries. Maybe you have a question after this about the unhealthy.
Yes, for sure.
But like how to unlock this part would be definitely one of the things is to start hanging out with people who are on personal development journey.
Okay.
The conversation would be different. The energy would be different. The way we look at things would be different. That way will also help you to look at things in a different perspective, right? Yes. So another thing that you can do is to be kind to yourself. It is so important to be kind to yourself. You have no idea. It makes such a big difference. Because if you don't be kind to yourself, who will? If you don't love yourself, who will?
Yeah.
Right? And what a lot of women, when we are in a stressful state, what we do, we start to blame ourselves. We start to be really harsh on ourselves.
Yes, I do that.
Yeah?
Yes, being very critical.
Exactly.
Yes, to myself. And I also agree that it's important to be kinder to yourself. And I also tried this in the last year. But on the other side, do you think that this idea of be kind to yourself is overly promoted? Meanwhile, no.
No, because I don't think...
Just for some people to find like a safe place to run to and say, I'm kind to myself, so that's why I don't work out. That's why I don't achieve the next step in my career. That's why I don't achieve my personal goals. And they just, hide behind this idea of like, I'm kind to myself. I just accept myself as I am. And then they do not put the effort into development.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Now I understand what you mean. Yes, I think if that's the case, that's more of an excuse.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not really be kind to yourself. It's more of an excuse. But then again, it depends on what they want in life. Because not everybody wants the same thing.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And but if they're not happy with how they look, for example, then they shouldn't be giving that excuse just so that they're not working out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just being kind to myself today.
Yes.
I'm just going to listen to myself.
And I will eat 3 pizzas.
Yes. And that is a victim mentality. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is victim mentality.
Okay.
Which means, you know what I mean? Victim mentality is like, it's not me, it's other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's important to have kindness for ourselves.
Yeah.
But there are also some boundaries. So
exactly.
as long as it doesn't become an excuse.
Yes.
Okay.
And being kind to yourself, what I mean is that, for example, if you are stressed about paying bills, right? And the deadline is coming, for example, instead of going to tell yourself, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Why am I staying in this job that doesn't pay well? Or how am I going to do this? Like being self-critical, you tend to gratitude.
Okay.
For example, in the darkest time, when you turn to gratitude, you are empowering yourself. You can't feel anxiety or fear with gratitude at the same time.
Yeah.
Your gratitude would empower your fear and anxiety. So because gratitude is at the highest vibration energy level, right? And when you can say this to yourself, how you want to be kind to yourself is like this. I'm so grateful for the job that I have right now. I'm so grateful for the roof above my head that I have. For the small things that you could actually see, feel, and touch, for example.
Definitely. And we should not take all these small things that we have for granted in life.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's what most of the time we do, and then we're stressed out.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
How can you be, how can you get what you want, for example, if you're not cultivating gratitude into your life? Right? We take things for granted and expect.
And we always achieve something, and then we directly want to achieve the next goal, which is fine to have ambition, but you need us to slow down at the point and just be grateful for what you have.
Yes. And one of the things as well, because now we're mentioning about gratitude, I would like to mention about this. Gratitude is also so powerful. If you cultivate it at deep subconscious level, at deep in your core, then you feel the gratitude inside of you for the things that you don't have yet.
Okay.
That is manifestation.
Okay.
That will come into fruition. Let's say you're so grateful for the job that you have right now. And let's say you want to get another position, a higher position, right? But then you were so grateful for the job that you currently have where you are right now. In no time, you will get to that position that you actually desire.
Okay.
So be grateful for the things that you have currently, and be grateful for the things that you currently don't have and yet to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing perspective.
Yes.
And now I can mention as well, I'm so grateful to have you today as my guest.
I'm so grateful to you for inviting me.
And one more question. We can maybe go one step back. We were talking about these energies, especially about feminine energy. When does feminine energy become toxic?
Amazing question. So feminine energy, just like any other energy, can be positive or negative.
Okay.
In a way. So I would call it unhealthy feminine energy.
Okay.
Of course, toxic femininity is also acceptable.
Okay.
So I would break it down to 5.
Oh, wow.
5 toxic femininity or 5 unhealthy feminine energy.
Okay.
So 1 is the manipulative behavior.
Okay.
So this is when you don't get what you want and you started using emotions as a tool. So for example, you guilt tripping someone.
Okay.
Right? And you cry when you don't get something that you want in order for you to get what you want.
Yes.
Right? And then people feel guilty about it and then they give you what you want.
Okay.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is the passive aggressive. So instead of communicating what you want, you give silent treatment.
Okay, that's the worst.
Yeah. Or you start being sarcastic about it with intention to hurt the other person.
Okay.
Yeah. And also maybe gossiping behind someone's back. Yeah, that would be 1. And then the third one would be competitive comparison.
Okay.
So this is when you are being critical on yourself by comparing yourself to other people in a competitive way or judgmental way. So comparison is a thief of joy.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you heard of that before, right? Yeah. So, I mean, like when we compare ourselves to other people on other people's journey, then that's not really healthy, because we always strive for, okay, I don't have this yet. And then you're going to be miserable about it.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And on the other side, every person is on their own journey.
That's right.
So we cannot always compare ourselves to others.
100%. Like I said, like comparison is a thief of joy.
Yes.
Then it will take away all of the joy and all of the gratitude that you have.
Yes.
Because now you always want to compete with other people. And when we talk about comparison, imagine this, right? As a woman, we all different. We all have our own uniqueness.
Yes.
Imagine you're a flower. You would be... What flower do you like?
Oh, I like different.
Which ones the most?
Let's say the rose, but it sounds so basic.
No, it's not basic. So let's say you're a rose. I'm peony. And someone else would be tulip. And someone else would be hibiscus. And someone else would be lily. And someone else would be daisy.
Yes.
Right? We all have our own uniqueness. We look differently. And we're all beautiful. And if you have a healthy feminine energy, you will uplift each other instead of comparing. Oh, I don't look like Rose, or I don't look like Tulip, or I don't look like Daisy.
Yes, girls compete against each other.
Exactly.
Here, women empower each other.
Like that, yes, that's true. Women empower each other, yes, right? And then we have number 4, we have emotional dependency, which means you're relying your entire emotions, your well-being, your happiness on other person's hands. And which means it's not really healthy, is it?
Definitely.
Yeah. So when you are being clingy or neediness or inability to make a decision, then someone else will control your power, right?
It's your happiness.
Exactly.
And your entire mood.
There you go. And I think this is something that is very common in a relationship. When we become emotional dependent on our partner, that we expect our partner to fulfill our happiness, or fulfill our desire, and to know exactly what we're thinking about. But your partner can't read your mind, right? Unless if you communicate what you want.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's number 4. Number 5 is excessive self-sacrifice.
Oh, wow. I really like that.
Yeah. Which means like people pleaser. You know, overly compensate to other people's needs and wants.
Okay.
And that could lead to burnout. Although selflessness can be a positive trait.
Yes.
But then when you are overly trying to please other people, you break your boundaries. You don't set any boundaries, right? And then what happens is that it could lead to burnout, resentment, and you would lose yourself. Every time we are going into the unhealthy feminine trait or toxic femininity, we take away our power, we take away our emotions, we start to lose ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, we start to lose the sense of ourselves, like we don't know who we are anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need to be very mindful of how you react, how you communicate. Yeah.
And maybe just as a short conclusion, do you have any advice on how we can find the balance between feminine and masculine energy?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So first of all, definitely set boundaries.
Okay.
Boundaries is so important. And I think this is one of the things that common reason why my clients come to me.
Okay.
To know how to set boundaries, to communicate what they want. Okay. Now, the reason why I say set boundaries, you can't really set boundaries if you don't know who you are.
Yes.
What you want.
Yes.
What your values are, right? Yes. So, and if you're doing this yourself, understand what you actually want. Get clear on what you want. Don't shy away from what you want, because this is your desire. No one can tell no to that.
Yeah.
You know? And when we started to know like what we want, write it down. When we write it down, getting that crystal clear on a piece of paper.
Okay.
So now you become more aware, and now you have evidence telling you that, okay, this is what I want. This is my values. For example, I don't want people to cheat on me. Yeah. Because a lot of the time when you do things yourself, you started saying things that you don't want instead of what you want. And that's totally fine. And when you started writing it like that, I don't want people to cheat on me. So what do you want instead? I want people to be honest with me, right?
Okay.
When you write it down, it's crystal clear.
Yes.
There's no way you could mess it up,
Yes.
right? But then when you're just thinking about it out loud, you will forget about it. You know, we have so many thoughts.
For sure.
So write it down, and then from there, set boundaries. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to act like this. I'm going to say no to this person.
Okay.
And at first, setting boundaries might be
uncomfortable.
But then as you start doing it more and more, you will become more comfortable with it. And when I say setting boundaries, it's not that you're going to set boundaries in a rude way. Setting boundaries is not rude. Setting boundaries is honoring yourself.
Okay.
And the way you do it, communicate with grace. So for example, let's say I want to say no to you. You invite me to your podcast and I don't really want to be in your podcast, right? Let's say. And I could just be saying to you, thank you very much for inviting me and for the thoughts of thinking of me. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do it at the moment. And I'm just not in the process of doing anything in regards to this. You see, I'm saying no to you, but in a
very kind and nice manner.
Exactly. So setting boundaries is very important. And then how to balance these two energy, right?
Yes.
And then I would say take time to yourself. You know, you could do by walking in the nature, walking in the park, just to clear out your mind. And then listening to things that would make you happy, that would uplift your energy. I think this is very important. It sounds very simple.
Yes.
And we've already done that. But set intention to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, when you set an intention with walking on a park, for example, or walking in nature, you set an intention that today I would like to, my intention is to become in balance in what I do, you know, in myself. Yes. So when you say it out loud with your intention, your mind will start to pick up on that. Your mind will start to navigating to what you see, what you feel, what you touch, what you smell, what you taste.
Wow.
Through your 5 senses. And definitely coming back to the previous question, hang out with people who are on the same journey as you.
Okay.
And I think this is so important.
Yes, for sure.
And the self-awareness, we did mention about that, getting crystal clear on what you want. And prioritize self-care. As a business owner, sometimes, or as a young professionals or professionals in general, we have work, we have family, or we have to manage other things in our life.
We live in a very dynamic world.
Exactly.
So we have lots of things to do, and sometimes we tend to neglect our own self-care.
Exactly, right? And if this is the case, then we start feeling unbalanced. When we start feeling unbalanced, this is when our energies are clashing with each other. So one will overpowering the other one. And in this case, prioritize self-care would look like maybe take a massage, maybe watch a movie.
Yeah.
And that's completely fine. As long as you don't do it every single day.
Yes. What I really like, for example, I have my small ritual in the evening, 1 day per week, or it depends. I like to have a candle, to have a nice face mask, and then read a book. And I feel like that's such a nice moment for me with myself, reading something interesting.
That is self-care.
Yeah, relaxing, putting some nice music in the background, you know, like some soft music. Yeah. That's my ritual.
Oh, that's so nice. I love that. Reading books is definitely my go-to. Like that's also how I prioritize myself.
Okay.
I take a massage, I read a book, and definitely watch some.
Yes, of course.
Podcasts.
Yes.
I like to listen to podcasts.
Yes, podcasts like this one.
I actually do want to mention about this because you mentioned about how to balance, right? So those are the things that you can do yourself. But if you want to, let's say, if you want to work on a deeper level and make that change on a deeper level, you go to, for example, for me, an
Yes.
NLP coach or
For sure.
hypnotherapist, one of the things that I do with my clients is that balancing these two energy in hypnotherapy session,
Okay.
and I bring in back the playfulness and curiosity
Okay.
in my clients.
Okay.
This is the feminine energy, and another energy would be relentless and victorious energy,
Okay.
which is consistency and the powerful energy. So these two things, we call it empowering pillars. So we install that in the client,
Okay.
subconscious level. So it's embedded in them straight away.
Okay.
Powerful energy. And then when they go through life, they started to embody it straight away. You know, I think this is so amazing. I love this so much.
For sure. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me today. It was a real pleasure. See each other soon for sure.
Likewise, I'm so happy to be here, and thank you so much for your amazing question, by the way.
Thank you.